What's up, YouTube? This is going to be your guide on how to use Glimmora in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be providing some competitive movesets and some fun meme movesets too. If there's a Pokemon you'd like to see me cover, make sure you leave below in the comment section of the video. And if you've got a Glimmora set that maybe I didn't cover here that's working well for you, let me know about it there in the comment section too. And if these guides are helping you out, make sure you do leave a like there. And there is a playlist if you want to go through some that I've already covered. Let's get into Glimmora. So Glimmora is a fantastic Pokemon. As you'll see, you'll mostly find this as a lead on a lot of Pokemon teams, like especially in singles battles. So let's have a dive into its stats and moves and what it can do. So the thing about Glimmora that you notice first is its big special attack stat, but people tend to use it as a lead, and that is mostly to get the toxic debris ability happening. So toxic debris is a fantastic ability, right? It's crazy good. So when it's hit by a physical attack, the toxic spikes are laid on the field. So it lays one layer on the field every single time. So you'll probably find when this Pokemon is used at the start, it'll put down passively 2 layers of toxic spikes. So it's difficult, right? It's difficult not to actually get this ability to activate unless you got a Pokemon that's not hitting it that way, or you're removing them with Rapid Spin, etc. And Rapid Spin could be quite difficult with Goldengo flying around on the field too. So anyway, we're going to look at the first set here. This is a pretty standard build that you'd probably see a lot on Glimmora. So this is a setup special attacking set. Now, this is a Focus Sash lead here. Focus Sash is great on Glimmora because it does have a glaring weakness here to ground type moves. So that's why I've put that there. We've got Stealth Rock. So essentially what you're trying to achieve with this set is to get the Stealth Rock up, and you're trying to get both the toxic spikes on the field. So essentially in 2 turns, it could set up 2 layers of spikes and a Stealth Rock. So that's extremely good, very, very good. So it's no wonder it's used so much. Now, the other move I've given it here is Mortal Spin. Mortal Spin isn't really, it's not really about the base power, but what it does, it poisons the opponent, and it also frees the user from any hazards, binds, leeching moves, etc. like that. So an opposing Glimmora, something like that, and any other hazards on the field, which would be, sort of detrimental to your team. Now, the other moves I've given it Sludge Wave for obviously stab, and I've given it Energy Ball as well. Energy Ball is great for ground type Pokemon, coverage, that sort of thing. Now, for example, you could get rid of Mortal Spin and give it Power Gem as well, and that's another sort of option to use on there, just sort of opening up your options for coverage and things like that. That's an option to use over Mortal Spin. As for EVs, I wouldn't really stray from these EVs here. They're great. It's quite reasonably speedy, not like crazy speedy, but fast enough there to get its Stealth Rock up, and Toxic Debris is gonna activate anyway, and you've got that mega special attack. So why not make use of its humongous special attack? So that's your standard kind of set there that you're going to see most of the time. Now, speaking of its mega special attack set, let's have a look at more of an offensive set that's not really 100% focused around setting up stuff, but still can do that with Toxic Debris. So even a sweeping set can set this up, which is wild to me. So we've got a Choice Specs or Choice Scarf set here. So this could work good with either item, it's sort of up to you. With a Choice Spec set, this thing is hitting like crazy powerful. So I've given it, also on the setup there, I've given it Terra-type Grass too. Grass is great as a Terra on Glimmora. I probably wouldn't use Terra on the lead Pokemon. I'd save it for another bit. If you absolutely needed to, you thought, well, this is paramount to my strategy working. I know that I can beat the, the opposing opponent if I get all this stuff on the field and I let Glimmora, live for a turn or 2 more. It's great. Plus, it gets around, ground type moves, water type moves, stuff like that. At least it's, Psychic's not super effective. That sort of thing. Same sort of thing with the Terra-type Grass on this set. So we've got Sludge Wave here. Sludge Wave is great, 95 base power, 10% chance of poison there, if they're not already going to be poisoned. We've got Earth Power. Now, Earth Power is great for Steel-type Pokemon. So, Poison-type Pokemon, what you want, like, you're thinking, well, with the Steel type, we'll just go into these toxic spikes. We'll be able to have a nice, easy, free swap in. Well, not with Earth Power. It's going to be hitting very, very hard. I've also got Power Gem there too for a little bit of extra coverage and stuff like that. You've got that against flying types, ice types, fire types, stuff like that, you know, just extra coverage, really. We've got Energy Ball as well for ground types and water type Pokemon, so that's good. It's a little bit limited on the special side, but in my opinion, it's got pretty much what it needs there. So the EV spread I've given it is max speed and max special attack. That's going to be the spread you're going to see a lot of the time, to be honest. Even on the setup sets, it just works well. When you give it choice Scarf, I don't know. I'd be inclined. I don't know. I'd probably be inclined to go for the spec set, but this is like more like surprise speedy set there. So if you want some real nice speed, go for it. You know, that could definitely work. But I tried both of these sets out already. Specs tended to get the better results there. It hit harder. Scarf was good for surprise outspeeding, but it lacked a little bit of oomph, you know? So that's my opinion on that. So they're probably the two most common sets you're going to see here. Let's have a look at a pure setup set. So this is all based around in setting absolutely everything up on the field. So this is a bit more of a gimmicky style set because I've run this one as a bulky defensive set. So I have tried this out and I've got some pretty good results here. So firstly, the Terra type is going to be rock here. So actually, matter of fact, I'm going to change my mind right away on that one. And I'm going to give this Terra Flying. That's what actually was meant to be. So we've got Terra Flying here. This is to get around any ground type move, which are very, very bad against Glimmora. So it's going to have a lot of struggle against them. Now, I've got Spiky Shield. I actually get Spiky Shield, which is really cool. Spiky Shield works like Protect, but contact moves are going to be losing 1/8 of the health. So a little bit of extra damage there. We've got Stealth Rock, we've got Toxic Debris working, and we've got Spike. So this thing can set the full load up. And once you've done, setting all that up, well, it gets Memento as well. Memento, very, very good move, So set everything up, Memento off the field there so you don't become setup fodder. If you feel like you're becoming setup fodder, just get out of there, Fine, you're probably going to, real talk, you're probably going to get a Stealth Rock up and, a layer of Toxic Spikes at least, or maybe even 2, and that sort of thing, and a little bit of damage to Spiky Shield. So not a bad set there, pure setup. You could run Mental Herb if you wanted to, if you're scared of, getting taunted and things like that. That is, definitely a possibility. That could work. So yeah, there's a setup there for a pure bulky set. Now this is interesting. So it does get the ability Corrosion. Most people are going to overlook Corrosion to toxic debris there. I mean, I don't blame you. It's a very, very good ability. I can't even believe it's an ability, right? It's so powerful. So this set is a little bit more of a, obviously it's a meme. So I've given it a Toxic. And with Corrosion, Corrosion's really cool. So Corrosion can, badly poison Pokemon regardless of typing. So say a Steel type comes in, well, you can hit them with a Toxic, can't you? And that's really, really cool, And Poison type Pokemon, you get them with Toxic too. So that's really, really nice. It actually gets Acid Armor, which is going to be a very overlooked move for Glimmora. But you can make it really bulky on the special defensive side like I have and max health. And that's going to be quite hard to feint. Now, I've given it Spiky Shield as well. So basically, it's a Toxic Stalling set with Corrosion, right? And I've also given it Rest and Chesto Berry. So it's going to be doing as much stalling as possible and getting up its acid armors and, resting off and just generally being a pain in the backside there with Spiky Shield and Toxic, so you can go ahead and, make up for the fact that you don't have Toxic Debris and spam Toxic on every single Pokemon you're going to get them, right? So another sort of variant there, obviously a lot more gimmicky than the Toxic Debris set, but another option just to look at if you want a bulky Toxic Staller. Now, this is a meme set, and it's actually not all that bad. So we've got a Poison Barb as the item there. Poison Barb's going to increase them Poison types attacks by 1.2 times. We've got Toxic Debris on the field too, and once this is sort of an idea. So we've got the Mortal Spin here. Mortal Spin is going to poison the opponents, and then we can go for Veno Shock. So Mortal Spin's going to sort of be there for the first Pokemon. So after the Toxic Debris is on the field, you can go for Veno Shock. Veno Shock is no joke because when the opponent is poisoned, it is going to be 130 base power, which is crazy strong. And coming off this, look at that fat special attack. That's going to do a lot of damage there. We've got Energy Ball and we've got Earth Power as well. And we've got, Poison Barb powering up a little bit more there too. So, yes, I did a set like this. Very, very similar. So, I actually did it a little bit differently. I will say it. So, we've got Red Card here. So, what I did is I got hit by a move, right? I had the Toxic Debris up on the field. I went Red Card, and then that actually essentially gave me Venoshock, like double base power for every single Pokemon that, of course, wasn't a poison type or a steel type. But if there wasn't a poison and a steel type around, you could be using Venoshock at its full base power every single time, right? Even the Pokemon that you initially verse, because when red card comes into effect, it's gonna, you know, randomly swap it out. So then once it comes back in, it'll be poison too. So it's a little bit of a meme, but I can tell you what, I actually got a Glimmora sweep with this. It's on the channel if you want to check it out. PIMPNITE Glimmora sweep. Go check it out. I think the only difference is I gave it like, I think I gave it, instead of Earth Power, I gave it like Ancient Power. So I got like an Ancient Power boost. Obviously, there's a lot of luck around that. There's 10% chance. But, you know, I got an Ancient Power boost, and then I got Red Card to activate, because, you know, it's not too hard to get Red Card to activate, as long as you survive the hit. And then I just started spamming Venoshock, you know, and I had Terra-type Poison Venoshock, and Pokemon were just getting, like, dunked one after the other, you know, like that with that special attack set. Obviously, its speed, it can be outsped and stuff like that, so any sticky web support is very much appreciated. But if you got the Ancient Power up, yeah, the opponent's gonna get it's gonna cause him a lot of problems there. So another little bit of an option there for Glimmora. This is the PIMPNITE special, this one. Okay, so we got a facade meme. So you're probably looking at it thinking, why do you have Toxic Orb on there? Okay, let me explain why. So with Corrosion, if you didn't know, a Pokemon with Corrosion, if they are holding a Toxic Orb, it actually can be poison, which is really, really cool. So even though a poison type, so you may not have known that. Now, with Facade, that's going to get a double base power, so it's going to be 140 base power, and we've got Terra Normal as well, so we're going to go Terra Normal Facade there with the Toxic Orb, and that's going to be doing some swell damage. Now, we've also got Rock Polish too, so you know, we don't have to do Facade right away. We can get our speed up there, so we can go for a Rock Polish, you know, and that's going to make Glimmora very, very fast. We've also got Gunk Shot 2 for Stab and Stone Edge for Stab too, so that's going to be very, very nice. Now, you could opt here for a more bulky set. This could work too. You could go Max Health and a Max Attack, and then, you know, Rock Polish sort of comes into effect then, giving you, like, you know, a lot, like 418 speed there at level 100, or, you know, level 50, you know, half that, and whatever level you're playing at. And yeah, that's going to be very, very nice. So that gives you some extra bulk too, and then you're going to be hitting pretty hard. Well, at least with Facade you are. Gunk Shot and Stone Edge are probably not going to be hitting very hard, but it's a little bit of fun for a physical set. I like to, as I said, I like to explore all sort of move options. But this is probably my favorite set here, and this set is probably my favorite special attacking set, because it's when it works, yeah, you're gonna get a sweep for sure there. The Venoshock is just so powerful. Let's have a look at a couple more sort of actually, let's do some counters here. So the biggest counter to Glimmora is always a ground type move. You're going to absolutely destroy it. So ground, psychic type move there, water type move. And most of the time, it's just going to be setting up a, this is going to be the set you're going to see pretty much all the time. So you know what it's going to do. It's very predictable. That's a weakness in itself, right? So, yep, ground type move there. And if it's got a Terra type, it's probably going to be grass or flying. I would probably bet it's going to be one or the either there. Most of the time, I'd say it won't be a Terra type. Okay, let me put it this way. If it's a lead Pokemon, they're probably not going to Terra it. If it's not a lead Pokemon, there's a chance it might be Terra, but most of the time it won't be. It'll just be like anti-lead and set them up later on. But that's how Glimmora works. Out of all the battles I've done with it and all my experience seeing it, that's how it mostly works. So that's just how to get around it. As for all, I was thinking like some options for it. That's actually not a bad option at all. So I would say a premier sort of teammate for this is Corviknight. So when you look at this, it's kind of perfect, right? So Corviknight is going to be able to swap into ground type move. Corviknight is going to be able to take psychic type move. Corviknight is going to be able to at least, you know, swap into a water type move there, neutral. So that's a great swap in, right? So I would highly recommend Corviknight as a partner there. And if you've got a bulky, especially a bulky defensive set, I mean, there's not a lot they can do there. So, you know, you've got like you got an Impish set there. Even not Impish, like, even just like, you know, special defensive is going to be all right there. So I suggest Corviknight as a partner there. Very, very good partner. Swap into those, you know, those Earthquakes all day, every day, and those Psychics all day, every day too. So beautiful sort of partner there for Glimmora. Now, as for doubles, I'm going to see if this play... I want to have a look here, see if it plays any differently in doubles. I don't believe it's going to play too differently in doubles at all. Let me just have a little bit of a peek here. No, I don't see it playing too much differently at all. So you're probably just going to have the same sort of setup set there. That's going to be fine. You got Mortal Spin. You might be able to... You might be able to slide... I'd probably slide... Actually, Spiky Shield would be good for that. If I can actually learn to spell. So we got a Spiky Shield. So I'd run something like that. Or even if you think that Stealth Rock's too slow for doubles, which it most of the time is, you could... I will show you the special set too. It doesn't really get too much in there, but you could also just put on... I'm thinking something else that could actually help. Dazzling Gleam. Dazzling Gleam. There you go. So nice. So it's got a good spread move there for Dazzling Gleam. You've got Energy Ball for any counters, and you got Sludge Ray. So that's how I would run Glimmora in doubles. I see that working very, very nicely. So there's your double set. As for EVs, look, I wouldn't even change the EVs up there. It's nice and fast. It's reasonably fast. It's got a good special attack too. I wouldn't even worry about it, to be honest. You could give it an air balloon too if you're really worried about ground type moves. You could give it Terra Flying if you wanted to as well. That could work, but Terra Grass isn't all that bad. So I'd probably stick with that. A Terra Grass or Terra Poison. But yeah, that's possibly what I would do for doubles. Matter of fact, that's the set. If I was going to play Glimmora in competitive, I'd probably go about using that set. That's going to be working very, very nicely indeed. If you got any more double strategies you want to put down here, feel free to. I'd like to see them. But I definitely think that would work well, for sure. Some more other options here for Glimmora. Let's explore them right now. So firstly, let's have... this is a physical set. Now... I only seen this once. I did see someone have Explosion on their set, but it's just not going to do enough, to get it off. There's no real reason to run. I'd run Memento if you want to run something to get you off the field, So there's no... Other than a meme, it's not really going to do too much there. That's his physical move, so that's the physical sort of side there. Not very good, but fun. Definitely fun. Its special moves here. It does have stuff like Flash Cannon. That's another move option you could use. I don't see it being very handy at all, not really opening too many avenues up there. It does get Ancient Power too, and it does get Venoshock, but I touched on Venoshock already, so you've seen that set. It can be nice. We got Solar Beam here. This... the only way you could really make use of Solar Beam is if you gave it Power Herb, which is an option, Okay, say if you're really scared of ground type Pokemon, which of course with this Pokemon you would, but you can use Solar Beam. If the ground type Pokemon has a type that resists, say it's Steel or Fire or something like that, it's not going to be very useful. Or you use Glimmora on a Sun team, so you'd lead with like a Sun Pokemon like Torkoal. Problem is then you're kind of both weak to ground, but let's say you got another Sunny Day Pokemon, you could use Solar Beam there. That will give you another option to hit ground types. But I feel like it's kind of outclassed, and there's other Pokemon that can do it better, so I'd probably stick with that. But that's another option if you do want to use Solar Beam there to hit those pesky ground-type Pokemon. As for other special moves, there's not too many other options for it to use there. Terra Blast, you might be able to go for Terra. Really, its best thing is Terra Grass, but Energy Ball is better, which outclasses it, and you've got Terra Flying too if you really want to use Terra Flying, which... doesn't give you that many, hardly any options at all there. Let's have a look at a status move. So we've gone over Acid Armor. Now, it does have Light Screen and Reflect. This is another option you could do as well. And it's not bad. I wouldn't say this is all that bad. I'd give it Memento there too. So you could go full sort of setup here. Absolutely like bulk setup. Now, let's go Terra Grass. This is going to be beautiful here. So this is full setup. Like, this is a pure setup here. That's actually not all that bad when you think about it. So you could set up your Stealth Rock first, and you could go for Reflect, Light Screen, and Memento. You're going to get a good quality 5 turns out of Reflect, Light Screen, and you've got Stealth Rock, and you've got Toxic Debris on the field. Not a bad set. Kind of underrated, in my opinion. Are you not making use of its wonderful special attack stat? Yes, but you've got Screens on the field, you've got Stealth Rocks, you've got Toxic Spikes, and you've just dropped the attack and special attack of the first Pokemon, possibly leading to a sweep or, a swap there. So there's a fair bit of hidden potential on this set too. But that's pretty much it, I think, for Glimmora. I don't think I can give you anything more. I've really sort of squeezed everything out of this Pokemon. I've shown you its best. Right, you could set up... Look, there's options for setting up rain and sand. You could set up sand, but sort of outclassed by Tyranitar and Hippowdon. Yeah, there's not a lot else you can give this at all there, so... Very good Pokemon, though. Glimmora is to sum this Pokemon up, to really sum it up best, it's a great setup Pokemon, and the great thing about it is it doesn't even need it passively puts Toxic Spikes on the field, which instantly makes it a Pokemon that a lot of people are going to use there. Another way to get around Glimmora too is the Poison type Pokemon. You can simply swap it in and absorb those Toxic Spikes, so it's not going to like that at all. So that's another way to get around Glimmora's Toxic Spikes there. But a great setup Pokemon, a great special attacker too. The one thing about its special attack that is a little... It does have... It's a little bit limited there by its typing and the moves that it gets to, especially by its typing. Like, Rock and Poison isn't... Its typing isn't actually very good in my opinion. It's okay. Like, it's not absolutely incredible, but it's certainly not overpowered. The thing that makes this Pokemon used a lot is its ability and the moves that it learns too, and its special attack stats. So that's why people are going to be using this all the time. And I see this getting used a lot, and I don't really see that changing at all. But yes, it is a little bit limited on the special attacking moves, but it can do its job well, and it can fire off a very powerful Poison stab and Rock move there as well. And it just does its role very, very well. That's why this Pokemon's going to get used a lot. But I think that's about it for Glimmora. It does have Acid Spray, but that's sort of outclassed unless you're running some crazy bulky set. But yeah, that's it, people. Earlier on, I did put up a Spidops guide too. If you want to check Spidops out and any other Pokemon, make sure you do click the playlist. That is in the description of the video, and it's also in the pinned comment too. If you're wondering, oh, I would like to know how to use this Pokemon, I will be finishing all of the Gen 9 fully evolved Pokemon this month too. So maybe come back if you're after a Pokemon. I'll have it up by then. All right, people, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed tonight's guide on Glimmora, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.